this little pad.
At a new location, I guess, 4336 King Springs Road. They used to be down on Paces Fair, right?
Well, we were two churches that merged.
Okay, sorry.
So,
Okay, well, he's here to give us our invocation and lead us in the pledge of the flag. So would everyone please rise?
let us pray. Oh God, your word says that unless the Lord builds the house, they who build it labor in vain. So Lord, we ask you would be the builder of our city, the chief architect, the master planner. Lord, I thank you for these men and women that serve here on the city council, and thank you for the citizens in this room, for their concern and love for this city. Lord, I pray that this city would be a place of prosperity, a place where your love and your welcome and your hospitality would be shown to all, that all who are here, who live here and pass through here, might thrive and enjoy peace and the blessings of kindness. So Lord, we ask your blessing, we ask your guidance, we ask your help, and we give you all the praise and glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Now, if you'll join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, and they're located at 4336 King Springs Road. Good church. Agenda changes, we do not have any. Under the mayor's report, we have a proclamation recognition of Municipal Clerk Week, May the 6th through the 12th, 2018. I'll ask that Councilmember Ron Fennell, do you have the proclamation?
I don't have it yet, but I'll be happy to take it and read it. The municipal court clerks, I'm a big fan.
Okay, well, since we don't have it, you can't read it, and we go. Okay. Okay, all right.
Very proud of our municipal court clerks, I think.
Under the mayor's report, if there's anyone running for public office, I know we have an election coming up May the 22nd. I will give you an opportunity to identify yourself and what seat or what you're running for, not to make a political speech, but just if you want to, for anyone that wants to do that. You can come up to the microphone, yeah.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I think most of you know my name. I just wanted to introduce myself to the rest of the city. My name is Adela Moore. I'm running to fill Doug Stoner's empty seat, as you see. I'm very excited to be able to have this opportunity. I'm meeting the most wonderful, interesting people as I campaign around. I'm from Valdosta originally, but I often say I escaped. I ended up going to Florida State, later went to England during grad school, met a Brit, married, and I stayed in England for a number of years. My family and I returned in the late 90s, and I moved down here in 2002. And I've been a resident of Cedar Cliffs 3 ever since. I really love Smyrna, and I'm enjoying the opportunity and feeling very hopeful that the citizens, voters of Ward 6 will elect me so that I can join you fairly soon. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hello, my name is Sean Black. I'm also running for City Council Ward 6. Just wanted to say I'm happy to be here and meet everybody. Been living in Smyrna since 2004. Moved to the Atlanta area in '99 to go to Georgia Tech and moved straight to Smyrna after that, and have been here ever since. So live in Vinings Glen with my wife of 10 years and my 3 sons, and I think that's about it. Thank you for the opportunity.
It's good to put a face with a name. I wondered who you were. So
That's me. I'm coming out of hiding, I guess.
good deal. Thank you. Anyone else? That's pretty neat. Two candidates sitting with each other. That's sweet. Yeah, this won't last long. Oh, Dad, I thought you were getting up to say something. Have you got the proclamation now? Okay. Ron Fenton's going to read the proclamation that we didn't have, and if you'll present that to Terry.
My fault,
Graham.
it's electronically here, but it's, it needs a little adjustment. But I have the actual physical document, thanks to our most efficient staff, and I'm happy to read this. A proclamation by the mayor of the city of Smyrna in recognition of Municipal Court Clerks Week, May 6th through 12th, 2018. Whereas the office of the municipal court clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of the municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the office of the municipal clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels, and whereas the municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all, and whereas the municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community, and whereas the municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations, and whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the municipal clerk. Now, therefore, I, A. Max Bacon, Mayor of the City of Smyrna, Georgia, do hereby recognize the week of May 6th through May 12th, 2008 as Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our municipal clerk, Terry Graham, and to all municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Smyrna to be affixed on the 7th day of May in the year of our Lord, 2018, A. Max Bacon, Jr., Mayor.
Good deal. If you'll,
Move approval.
well,
And I will
we
be
have to
happy to
approve this. You can present that to Ms. Graham, and
I'm thrilled to do that.
y'all can take a selfie of each other.
Gotcha.
I don't want, yeah, I don't want a photo bomb. Nope, I'm good. I've been in too many pictures tonight. Yes.
I would just like to thank the mayor and council for this recognition of the Municipal Clerks Week, and all municipal clerks work very hard, and we work to serve. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, item 4, it's land issues, zonings, and annexation. A 2018-116, a public hearing. Zoning request Z 18-005, rezoning from GC to OI for the use of the building as a dormitory for Atlanta Dream Center, 1.84 acres, land lot 346, 460 Bourne Drive, Atlanta Dream Center is the applicant. The applicant is here. Mr. Andrew, who is here for Ms. Sadler Jones, Tammy Sadler Jones, who was on leave, will give us the background on that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. The Atlanta Dream Center is proposing to rezone the property at 460 Bourne Drive for the use of the existing church buildings as a dormitory for students attending the Atlanta School of Ministry. On April 9th, Planning and Zoning recommended denial in a 5-1 vote. Council also heard from Reverend Palmer on May 3rd at our work session. Staff recommends approval of the 10 conditions you see attached in your issue sheet.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone here that was in opposition to, or that would like to make any public comment concerning this zoning request? So anyone that wants to make a comment or thinks they want to make a comment, I want to get everybody sworn in all at the same time, so we're going to swear folks in one time. So if you please come forward and be sworn in for those that want to make a comment or even think they want to make a comment. I think there's some other folks. What about the applicant? Yeah. Hold on, got another one coming up. All right, if y'all will have a seat. I know the applicant's here. If you'll please step forward. This is in Miss Susan Wilkinson's district. Miss Wilkinson.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Okay, at this time, do we have the applicant come forward first, or does the?
Well, Rusty
do
can, Rusty
come-
can give the city's, you can give the presentation, then we'll get y'all to do y'all's.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening. This is a request that was heard by the Planning and Zoning Board on April 9th. They recommended denial by a vote of 5-1. It was tabled at the last mayor and council meeting to this meeting. Atlanta Dream Center is requesting to rezone the property from general commercial to OI conditional for use of the property as a dormitory for their school that's based down in Midtown. Currently, the site is a vacant church, and it is approximately 1.8 acres in size. The subject property has a future land use of public institutional. That will not change with this request. Everything surrounding it is commercial and medium density residential land uses. This is the proposed site plan as it sits today with the church buildings and the parking area. On your lower left-hand corner, you see a 14,000 square foot church building. That is to be converted to approximately 10 dorm rooms with about 4 full baths. On the upper right-hand corner, you see a 5,400 square foot church building. That is to be converted to 10 dorm rooms and 5 full baths. They have not done full architecture with these plans, so they do not know fully if it's going to be 10 full rooms or it's going to be less. Their goal is to have a maximum occupancy of 120 beds total. And however shape that may take is still up in the air. In the lower right-hand corner, there's an existing 3,400 square foot storage building / gym. There's a 3/4 length basketball gym in there, and they also store some stuff in there. And then there's a small, tiny storage building just south of that. With this request, the applicant and staff thought it would be best to clear up some non-conforming issues related to the existing buildings, which were built prior to our current zoning ordinance. The first variance request is to reduce the street side setback for building 1 from 50 feet down to 10 feet. Number 2 is to reduce the rear setback from 40 feet down to 5 feet for building 1. And number 3 is the rear setback reduction from 40 feet down to 30 feet for building 3. And number 4 is a side setback reduction from 15 feet to 1 for building 1. There are no proposed additions with this plan, so these are just applying to existing buildings that are there today. And it's just to clean up those non-conforming issues. With this request, they're representing 58 parking spaces. There is an existing concrete foundation. They are proposing to remove that foundation and make it green space. These are pictures of the subject's site as they stand today. and then adjacent properties to give you some context of what's going on in the area. Community Development recommends approval of the proposed rezoning from GC to OI conditional for use as dormitory, for their school, with the following conditions. Number one, the applicant must provide parking at a ratio of 1.5 spaces per dorm room and 1 space per every 100 square feet of common area. Number two, the facility shall be limited to a maximum of 20 student dorm rooms with 20 student beds. Any increase in the number of rooms or beds shall be brought back to the city for review and approval. Number three, the applicant shall remove the existing concrete foundation at the northwest corner of the site. Number four, the applicant shall remove the existing concrete sidewalk / parking area along Old Concord Road. Number five, the applicant shall replace curb and gutter along Old Concord Road for the length of the property and provide a new 5-foot sidewalk with a 2-foot grass buffer. Number six, the applicant shall provide 3-inch caliber street trees along Old Concord Road for the length of the property. There shall be a tree every 40 linear feet of frontage. Number seven, the developer shall be responsible for any water and sanitary sewer improvements deemed necessary by the Public Works Director. Number eight, the developer shall be responsible for any fire access improvements deemed necessary by the fire marshal during the construction plan review. Number nine, the proposed dumpster shall be surrounded by 3-sided brick enclosure with an opaque gate in the front. The lid of the dumpster shall be rubber. Number 10, the subject property, and since our discussion in our work session, staff has modified this stipulation, number 10, to clarify the uses that are permitted on this site. I've given an updated staff memo to Terry, and she can pass those out after I get done reading them for you. But basically, we've pared down the OI zoning district to 10 acceptable uses for this site. Number 10 is the subject property shall be restricted to the following permitted uses. Any use not specifically identified below shall be prohibited. And the first use on the list is assembly halls, including union halls, conference halls, civic halls, and activities of a similar nature. The next one is uses in other places of worship and accessory facilities. The next one is clinics, including medical, dental, chiropractic, osteopathic, similar operations, but not including the practice of veterinary medicine. The next one is day nurseries and kindergartens. The next one is colleges, universities, business colleges, music conservatories, dance schools, and similar institutions, public or private, with or without students and residents. The next is the cultural facilities, art facilities, museums, legitimate theaters, libraries, and other similar uses and character to those listed above. Next is student dormitory with a maximum of 120 student beds. Next is financial institutions, including banks and savings and loans establishments. Next is the medical and dental laboratories. Next are offices, and they provide a description of all the types of offices that are allowed. And finally, schools, public elementary, middle, high school, private and parochial elementary and high schools, having curriculums approximately the same as ordinarily given a public school. With that, I'll be happy to answer any questions for y'all.
Mr. Martin, the items you just read, all of those are in existing permitted uses within that?
Yes, they are under the office and institutional zoning district. They are listed as permitted uses. Under the GC zoning classification, all OI zoning uses are allowed under GC currently. Under OI at this moment, there's 22 uses. We've pared out 11 uses, and it brought that down to 11 total uses that are allowed for this subject site as currently proposed.
Rusty, does the property have a sewer on the property?
Currently, they do have sewer, but they have a connection that doesn't meet our standards today. So they would have to bring that connection up to city standards.
Okay. Yeah, I was reading this about it, and it said sanitary sewer is not adjacent to the proposed development. And you talked something about a private force main. I'm not sure.
Yes, they'd have to have they'd have a private pump that would pump the sewer to South Cobb Drive.
Oh, so you're talking about a pump station?
This is a private service that would pump their material to South Cobb Drive. This is existing today. They would have to upgrade it to be able to accommodate for the additional use. And we've talked to the applicant about this, and they've met with Scott Stokes regarding the issue and fully understand what the requirement is.
I just didn't know what a force main connection was, so that's what. Okay.
I was just going to ask, I'm just trying to understand that as well. So is it a pump already? Is that what you're saying? And it'll have to be
It will
changed?
since there's a change of since there's more use of the property and there'll be more water and sewer usage, they'll have to upgrade that main in that pump to get it up to the South Cobb Drive.
Okay.
So there's no sewer on Old Concord. It has to be.
It's on Old Concord. It's just further. It's way down the road. So this is the easiest path, and it's already existing.
Have we done, is there an example of where we've done that in terms of recently in the city, the pump station kind of thing?
A force main, I believe, down South Cobb Drive by 285. They did one for the new Clipper Petroleum in Bojangles that's going in down there.
Petroleum and what down?
Down by the intersection next to McDonald's and BP. They're building a new gas station in Bojangles down there, and they've had to use a force main in that area as well.
Oh, okay. And that's in the city?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Martin, I have a question. I'm reading here where it says you're going to have two buildings on the site. In Building 1, which is 14,000 square feet, they're going to do 10 dormitory rooms and 4 baths. But in the other building, which is 5,600 square feet, they're going to do 10 dormitory rooms and 5 bathrooms. Is there a reason why there's the difference in bathrooms in the buildings?
I'll let the applicant explain that, but
Okay.
the first building, the 14,000 square foot building, has offices and rooms and that was where they had their assembly hall. So that's the difference in square footage. The other room, I think, just had classrooms and rooms in it. So it's going to depend on how they can demise it up to be able to accommodate that. They don't fully know what the numbers are truly going to be until they get into it. But their proposal is what they're thinking the max is going to be.
Are there any other questions of Mr. Martin?
I have another question. So in terms of the building codes, do we have building codes that address the dormitory use in terms of specifications and
Yes, there are certain requirements for bathrooms and stuff like that.
like, oh, okay.
A full bathroom and shower stall per every 10 students. So
Okay,
if they can't meet that, then they will have to limit the number of students that they can house.
okay, okay. And there may be other things in there, I guess, and that are
Yeah,
more specific to dorm use, since we have not had a dorm, I guess, since in the
The
city.
code will be the limiting factor in all this. So once they fully get into it and do the full architectural plans, that'll determine what the true occupancy of the site is going to be.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of Mr. Martin?
And parking is a delimiter as well, depending upon occupancy and then parking?
Right. We don't have a zoning code section that specifically provides a ratio for dormitory. We've just looked at other codes, and they have explained to us that about a quarter of their students actually have personal vehicles. The others take the private transportation provided by the school.
But the parking is rated at so many parking places per.
It's 1.5 spaces per dorm room, in addition to 1 space per every 100 square feet of common space. So that's how we got to the 58
And
parking spaces.
they're planning on having 6 beds in 1 room, right?
Right. But they have common area to offset that.
So, Rusty, does so the number of parking spaces that are there will be equal to what you just described in terms of how many parking spaces are required
Yes.
for the building? Okay. Okay, thank you.
It'll either be that or it'll have to be above that. That's the minimum threshold
For a dormitory? Okay.
as far as what we're proposing with the requirements. Yes, the zoning stipulations.
Oh, okay. Does it address that in the building codes in terms of the parking spaces for a
Parking is
dormitory?
not addressed in the building codes. It's addressed in the zoning code.
Okay.
And currently, our zoning code is silent on dormitory parking.
I'm sorry, it's what, silent?
Silent. It doesn't talk about it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
No problem.
All right, but any other questions of Rusty? Thank you, Rusty. The applicant step forward and tell us who you are and.
Hi, my name is Dan Palmer. I'm pastor at the Atlanta Dream Center Church and also the CEO of the Atlanta Dream Center outreach that we have. This is Alicia. She's the director of the school. We have some friends here and also is with us today. I'm excited about sharing this with you. Mayor and City Council, thank you for all that you do serving. It's my life as well on the religious side of things. Yours is in the political. I pray for you guys. It's not easy what you guys do, and I thank you for your service and for all the police and fire out there. Thank you for all you guys do. I think it's imperative that I be clear about what we are and what we're not. And I think that needs to be some clarity for everyone. And what we are is a church, and what this is an internship. And by the state of Georgia, there's a difference between a college and a school. And we are considered a school by the state of Georgia. It's not accredited. It's not considered like elementary or high school. It's after school or your upper education for the specifics of arts, ministry, and so forth. In that, we don't have the accreditation, but we have colleges that give us credits for what we do. And so I think that's important that we are a church that runs an internship that does a really great job, that we get students from all over the world, mainly from the United States. We're running close to 80 students right now that come from all over. We started in 2003. We started in downtown Atlanta in the 4th Ward, down there now where most people would know, wouldn't go there 17 years ago, but now it's Ponce City Market, so many people go there and check it out. It's a great place. Our ministry and the school has been known for part of the reason why that area has been an up-and-coming area. It's one of the hottest spots in Atlanta right now, and our offices and our church services are there at this point in time, and our classrooms for our school. The Dream Center and the school, I think it's important. We'll talk about the difference between a moment, but we are the Atlanta Dream Center Church. And basically, these are college-age interns from 18 to 25. We have a few older. But what they're learning every day going through is theology and leadership classes in the morning, and then they get activated in what they've learned in the afternoons. When I went to college, I learned a lot, didn't have a lot of activation. I got to go hang out with my friends, do what I do, surfed, and those kind of things. I went to school in California, had a great time, and I didn't activate what I was learning. So we want to let these guys learn, especially in ministry. It's not just important you know the Bible. It's important you follow the Bible. It's part of your character. It's part of who you are. So you don't just preach a sermon. You are the sermon that you go out and do. So this gives them that turn to learn it, how to do leadership, and then actually go and apply it. And what we do then is partner with the Dream Center Outreach, which many people have gone, because the application said Dream Center only. It should have said Dream Center Church. It's okay according to the 501(c)(3)s, but they are two separate 501(c)(3)s. They have two separate boards, and they're completely separate in their own ways, but they partner together, and that's how we work it. Many times with the city, you guys have city work, city employment, but you also have partnerships that work for the city. The Dream Center is very much the same thing with the church, and so we partner with them. That's where we do our reach, rescue, and store, men, women, and children. We have taken out in the last, I think, 6 years, 1,400 or 1,500 women off of prostitution and into long-term care. We have a 50% ratio, and for those that stay into long-term care, which is unbelievable, our students get to go learn about God, learn about leadership, and then get to go help make a difference in the city of Atlanta, in Smyrna, and surrounding areas, actually, because we get these people from all over the place that we rescue, and we have a 24/7 hotline the Dream Center does. And when they get called, within 90 minutes, we pick them up. Our teams learn how that works, the strategy behind that, how you do long-term care, how do you trauma care, and how you restore somebody from what's out of society back into society. So they don't just learn about theology, they become the real heart of God and the real heart of the cities that we're around. And so these students are awesome. They are incredible people. They are top. They come from all different churches throughout the United States and throughout the world. If you could go to the next slide. That's the Reach Rescue model. I think this is important. The Atlanta Dream Center model, though, which is not the school who we partner with, I think it's important that you guys understand that we network with with partners that do long-term care. We're the rescuing piece. The Dream Center is the rescuing piece, not the school. The Dream Center is. Our practice is not homelessness. We do not house homelessness, nor do we do any of that. We actually have long-term partners that we send them off to. We're the ones that go out in the street and meet them, look for those that want off. When they call our hotline, we pick them up, take them to those places, and it's never with our students. I have an 18-year-old girl who comes here from Louisiana. I'm not taking a homeless person and rooming them in the same area. These are people, the students that are coming are students. The homelessness is a separate situation that we participate and partner with in downtown Atlanta. So just to kind of make that really clear, our students, what's really good about them, they're not your typical college students. They have you can't read that, but I do have it for you if you want it here. It's 7 pages of their I have 3 of them. It's, how many pages is this one? 4 pages of our policies and our codes our students have to follow in order to stay in there. If you pass that over to him. In order to be part of the school, because it is a ministry school, it is not like your typical college. So they have freedom. They get to go where they want to go, be where they want to, but they have certain character conduct they must uphold in order to be a minister, just like any other kind of profile as a leader in the city. And also, as a minister of the gospel, they must represent themselves well. And so their life, the community life, which would be here in Smyrna, if we get to so be here, is where they would act out these things of care and kindness that they do. One of the things we teach our students is that we don't want to just impact Atlanta. We want to impact every place that we go, and we're here to send kids across the world. Right now, we have students in Kenya that graduated. We have students all over. We just got back from, North Vietnam, Philippines, Kenya, Georgia, all over the world, and they go and learn, they go and minister, and then they come back and bring those goods here. And so this happens in downtown Atlanta, all those classes and all the services. And what we're looking for is to dorm and house students here in Smyrna. And somebody say, why Smyrna? Well, 1 is Smyrna is a great city. 2, it's close to Atlanta for us. It gets us out of traffic. I live in Woodstock, so my traffic is basically from Woodstock to 285 and then wide open, so it's an easy lane for us. It gets our students outside of the city of Atlanta. It gets them experience the fullness that Georgia has to offer because they come from all over the world. The other thing is that we have great church partnerships, and these church partnerships want to help us. And one of the ways they're helping us is with this building here. And also that it's an actual structure that we do not need to build, so it saves us money. One thing we do for our students is keep our costs low, and the way we keep our costs low is being creative in how we do dormitory, how we do our classes, and how we do our outreach to make sure we can save them money. Today, the biggest crisis, they say, in the economy isn't going to be housing, it's going to be student loans. And our goal is to make sure our students go out with 0 student loans, complete 0 debt. So we keep our tuition at $6,400 a year. In order to do $6,400, in order to do that, you have to be creative. We don't get to have dorms right next door, luxury dorms. We get to have dorms hopefully in Smyrna or outside the city of Atlanta. Saves us on taxes, saves us on income, and saves us on money and expenses, and it gives us an opportunity to expand our ministry and what we do. Everywhere we go, we want to make an impact, and that impact is great when you have 80 amazing kids that come from all the United States to be world changers. I don't know about you, I'd be pretty excited about having those kids near me, and I get to have them around me all the time. They're amazing young people. And so this is, again, it's a church with an internship that is done so well that we have students come from all over. Because they come from all the United States, we have to house them. And that's why we have the dorms. There's been many other creative ways we've done dormitories, but because of finances in downtown Atlanta, it makes it hard for us to establish property. If you know what's going on downtown in the city right now, there's nothing cheap, and hasn't been even in 2008 because everyone started holding. And so we have been looking, we've been going after, we have been leasing, but now we don't want to lease. We would like to own, and we would love to own in the city of Smyrna with everything that goes on great that's around here.
You know, it's not cheap in Smyrna anymore either, just so you know.
Yeah, that's why that church partnership is key for us. Yeah, that's the key for us. So the church partnership is really helping us out. Oh, I should explain this. The students, what they will receive at the very end of all this when they're with us, they can do 9 months at a time. And as they complete each internship program or each time, they get different certificates. They get leadership certificate, and at the end of 3 years, they can get their licensing through the Assemblies of God denomination. And that denomination has 360,000 churches around the world. It's not a small organization, and we have a headquarters here in Georgia. And so it just allows them to get their licensing from there. So they can marry, bury, and preach wherever they go, and they get that after they do the 3 years with us, as well as other certificates. And with our college partners, they can get degrees with us as well through the online programs that we have. So these students get a lot of experience, and get a lot of stuff for $6,400 at the end of the day. Any questions for me?
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
You keep talking about that your students are from all over the world. Are they coming in on student visas or what?
No, they come in because we're not officially a college. We don't have to do that. They come in as an internship.
On
That's
what?
Internship.
Internship?
Yeah, and again, that's,
And
we
for
have
how-
them sporadically throughout. Right now we have two. Is it 2 or 1 right now? 2 that came in. But mostly, like I said, most come from all over the United States. Yeah, that's why it's such a short time. A lot of the students come for the 9 months and then they go home. Those students do, that are usually overseas because of the internship side of it.
Well, good luck, because that may change. Some of the rules and regulations that are in place now probably won't be 6 months from now.
Now, you're right, and what we're hoping to do is plant things all over the world with people to help them do what they're doing there. So that's a lot of these come here to actually learn what they're doing there, so they can do it where in their location.
I mean, who ever heard of a lottery visa? That one was amazing, so.
I'm not sure. Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions?
I'd have a couple of things. Mr. Palmer, I'll tell you, my primary concern
Yes, sir.
is putting a dormitory across the street from a developing residential neighborhood that we as a city want to see that area
Flourish.
grow and prosper.
Yes.
I mean, and I realize there's some commercial properties on that side of the road. Most of them face the other direction. I think there's a convenience store a couple of doors down from you. And I'm just concerned with the, putting 100 students over there. I mean, and I don't want to, I don't want to, you talked the other night about a curfew. I don't want to curfew these young men and women. But what do you do typically to encourage them? I mean, to be good neighbors. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, I've had complaints in the city from basketball goals and things late at night and making noise and things, and that's what I'm concerned about. And that's I'm serious. I don't know how I'm going to vote on this thing yet, but
Sure.
That's what I need to feel comfortable about.
Sure, I would, if I was a neighbor, I would be concerned as well. Until I met these kids. And I think it's important from the church side of things. It used to be a church would build buildings and do what it did, and the community would come to it. The church is transformed in this day and age where we try to reach the community and change. And part of reaching your community is following sound ordinances. It's being quiet, it's being courtesy, it's letting cars go by you. And we actually train them. Guys, you need to let cars go by you. You don't walk in front of cars. Wait, be courteous, say hi to your neighbor. Give, pick up trash. I mean, we pick up, I can't tell you how much trash we pick up wherever we go. And we travel the United States. We're asked to be all over the United States. Our students are, because of what we do, not just in our services, which is our arts and stuff like that, but also what we do in the community. We actually transform communities. We're in Ponce City Market area right next to the park, Fort Ford Park. That is where all the students are active day in and day out, not just at nighttime and where they're at. And they are loved and cherished there because of how much they give and how much they've done there. The city officials, I got recommendations from the city's mayor office of the city of Atlanta for who we are. I have recommendations about what we do and why we do it. So I think the approach to us is that we're actually trying to teach our guys how to be ministers of the gospel, not how to get a career and how to go out and party as young people. They're coming as a very serious career of what they want to be as world changers. And change somebody's world means meet their needs, Be courteous and kind, and be a part of the community you're in if you want to see transformation. Don't ask them to transform if you're not willing to transform to help them. So this is stuff that we preach, we teach, we work with, because we want to be a light in every community we're in, and that's even in our dormitories. So, and we didn't, again, we shouldn't have been there. We went through that last time about the accident of us not knowing. We never had a complaint from neighbors one time, and we made sure of that. We made sure that what was going on around everything, most people didn't know what was going on because of how well we keep our students in a way of serving. We don't control them at any form. We encourage them. If you're really going to be a minister of the gospel, the guy across the street is the first guy you need to minister to, not the guy from the pulpit to the pew. So it's just some of our DNA and our culture, I think, that goes in there. Now, again, I'm not going to tell you one day at 12 o'clock somebody's going to get excited and yell or something. That may happen, but typically they know. And we do have staff there that really understands what we're looking for and helping these young people do what they need to do. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for a great question.
So I have a question. I know you were here on Thursday and you had told us, but I just also think it's important for people to know. So how many years that you've been operating the school?
Since 2003.
And how many, since when have you been housing students?
Since about 2000, we took them in automatically, but we did host homes, so we didn't do any dormitories, and that went on for a period of time, and I don't have the exact date. So then we moved into it. Within a year or two of that, we got into dormitories, which at the time were so small, we had 8, 9 students, it was easy to get apartments and those kind of things that we just rented and so forth.
Was that in town at that time?
That was in downtown area, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Just
In the
wondering.
Fourth Ward area. And then we've been outside the Fourth Ward area. Actually, one of the last places we were at was actually over by the zoo. It's about 10 miles away, but it took about 35 minutes because of traffic and the way to get there, which is actually just as long, actually sometimes shorter for us from Smyrna to get to there. So just even being downtown and being with the 285, huh?
When does it take less than that?
It takes us less than that. I think it's 17 miles is what we have recorded. That's what it is, as we actually finally got asked that question from the mayor. 17 miles. We come home. We go super early in the morning, and we come home super late at night, like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. So we don't have a lot of the traffic time that you guys have. But in Atlanta, it's I don't know. It's just no matter where I go, there is constant construction and traffic. So.
You also mentioned about you're not accredited, but you are associated with some colleges that accept your courses for,
Yes, ma'am.
For credit?
Yes, ma'am. Ecclesia College out of Arkansas, Bentonville, Arkansas, and also Visible College out of Nashville, Tennessee. One's an art school, music art school. The other one is a theological school. And one gives us our students a biblical degree. The other one gives us our art certificates. That's what they give them.
And so I guess I have there's an understanding that there is a state organization or commission that authorizes or permits religious schools. Are you
Yes, we're on that.
registered?
Yes, we're registered with one of the religious schools. That's what I was communicating earlier, difference between a school and a college. So we're registered as a school because there is a difference. It's
As
not
a
accredited.
school, you're registered. Can you tell me what agency that
It's
you're
through
registered with?
It's through the state of Georgia that we register. I didn't bring that paperwork, but I can definitely get it through. You have to do it through the state of Georgia. It's in our files. Our HR person would have that.
You can help us
we
with
registered
that, 'cause
about
we
4
didn't-
years.
We didn't find it, so if you could help us specifically with that.
I would definitely send that to
that's
you.
an
That would be
important thing.
I can have that sent to you tomorrow, so it shouldn't be a problem.
okay. Okay, I think that's all for right now. I just got this and I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Sure. Yeah, it's a bunch of
so-
policies. Yes, ma'am. It's a lot to
So
read.
I'd like to look at that as well.
Yes, ma'am.
But for now, that's all the questions that I have. Thank you.
Any other questions of the applicant?
I just want to follow up with the wider audience with the question that I offered and asked you Thursday about the rationale for being in Smyrna, which is a higher per expenditure city than some of the others that you have available to you in the metro region, and the travel component with the MARTA line providing tons of opportunities along the way. I understand that you have a building provided by a church as an opportunity, so you're exploring this one. It's a growing city, and we're delivering services, and that takes tax money, and so those folks who are paying taxes are expecting a high-quality delivery of services, which we have to meet. I just want to be clear as to, because this is a tax-free entity, a church, and we still have to deliver services. And I'm just asking the question on behalf of the taxpayers as to what impact the entity will have on the surrounding area from a quality of life and that sort of thing. But the zoning is for a church, and we have been accustomed to that for all of its history for that site. Just raising concerns that residents have raised with me.
Sure. We still have hopes for the church to begin. That's not our main focus at this point in time. As I told you earlier, as we talked on Thursday, we have a partner right now that wants to start a church there on Sundays and do those kind of things, have fellowship for all. And our school is downtown, so it's a great time for them to do that. The sanctuary, when you see that can you put up that last one, actually? This will help. This slide, I think our slide is not as good as Rusty's was, but it's not. The bigger building there, Rusty, is there a way we can get your slide up there that you had when you put, so for building 1? So we do plan on having, not plan, but there are talks about having church there still. We would love to have a church there. We're personally not looking to do a church plan out of our church at this point in time. So we would like to see somebody else do that. We have other church partners that want to. Right now, we have a specific one. This is an amazing guy that's just done a great thing throughout Georgia. Actually, he's a radio show host and awesome. He wants to start a church and asked me if we got this building, if he could start there. And I said that would be great as long as we meet the codes with parking and so forth. That first building there, the 1,400 square foot building, the point of the back end of it where you see the line, the left side of it, you can see it kind of tapers down. That's where the dorms are going to be. That actually has a firewall there. That was actually what I understood to be a daycare previous before us. It's a 3-story portion of the building. It's what faces the neighborhood right now. And that's where the dormitories would be at. The sanctuary itself, which is most of the square footage, and the offices that are lined up to it will be on the left side of it that go line with it, would stay. All sanctuary, place of worship would not be changed. So it still will have that churchability, church feel, community open, wide open to the community, doing any kind of stuff that the city may need to serve the community. And I would say this, I think anyone that wants to become a minister of the gospel, which means they want to lay down their life to serve others and serve God, 80 of those kind of people coming into your community, I think it will make a radical impact in what we are. I don't think a church is a burden to the state or the city. I know in the city of Atlanta, they're coming to us to figure out how we're doing so well and spending so less money to make sure we get the people off the street. They haven't been able to do that, and they're coming to us for consultants. So I actually think the church is an aid and not a tax burden. And I think the 80 students that we'd have there that are becoming ministers would only be an aid to Smyrna. Now, if the city of Smyrna doesn't feel it's the best place, we're going to honor that completely. But I think anybody that has these students is going to be really, really excited about the people they have. And I think people that invest in the future have a future. And these 80 students are not just here for the city of Atlanta. We have many of them actually moved in this area. I don't know if it's Smyrna, but in this area. His daughter, Pastor Osborne's daughter, is in our school. So we're actually investing in your future, our future, not just the Smyrna's future, but the future of our nation and the future of the church and future ministers. So I think that's the portion of how I look at it. And I think these guys are going to be awesome. And if I thought they were going to be trouble to your neighborhoods or anything like that, that's the last thing I need to worry about in my life. I have 9 kids. I have a lot going on, running the Atlanta Dream Center, the school, and a church. I don't need trouble from our students in a place. I actually think they'll be an absolute benefit, and I need them to be a benefit. Otherwise, I will be in trouble with my own time. So just out of my own need, I need them to be good. Any other questions?
Okay, if y'all have a seat.
Thank you so much.
Anyone who was sworn in that would like to make any public comment, please come forward, identify yourself, where you live at, and then make your comments.
Hi, Council, fellow Smyrna neighbors. So I'm looking at the slide right here, and I actually...
What's your name and where you live at?
Oh, I'm sorry. Andre Brown. I actually live directly across from the dorm on 183 Still Pine Road, Bend. So I live exactly when I wake up, I look at that church. Okay. So...
Where is it? You're talking about downtown?
No. In Smyrna.
Oh, here. Okay.
Yeah, here.
Okay. Still Pine. Okay,
Yes.
that's in Smyrna Grove.
Mm-hmm. So I have nothing against the church. I don't mind it. When I was first looking to move in Smyrna, we would drive by on Sundays, and we would actually see the church service going on maybe 2-3 years ago at some point. But my concern is actually having students, and no matter how good they are, they're still young people, which are going to do young people things. And my concern is having 100 or so people directly across from me day and night. I just have a concern of just loud noise, excessive traffic, and just general things when you have students. You know, we've been to dorms. It's just a matter of just how teenagers and young men and women act. And I like what the organization is doing. I just don't want a dorm directly across from me. So this is for selfish reasons that I would hope that you would vote against this.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Don't be bashful.
Hi there. My name is Rami Seals, and I also live in Smyrna Grove subdivision. And my husband and I moved to Smyrna Grove subdivision about 2 years ago because we were excited about being a part of the revitalization of Smyrna. We've been excited to see what progress has been made over the last 2 years, and we think that having a dormitory across the street from our subdivision would be a step backwards. So it's not necessarily a concern about how the space would be used right now, but the concern is that there's no accreditation, there's no oversight as to what type of students are moving into this facility. And I get that they're doing good things. Right now, things are going well. They're taking good people. But in 2 to 3 years, if they decide that they want to use the facility for different purposes, if they decide that the facility no longer meets their needs, what happens to that space at that point? It's already been zoned a dormitory, and then where does it go from there? So from our perspective, we've invested a lot into our home. We're excited about being there. We love being there. We love the location. We just don't think that this is the right fit for the neighborhood, for the community. We think it would be a step backwards based on the progress we've seen so far. So my ask would be that you vote to deny this request.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Gary LaRue. I live at 6011 Bordeaux Walk in Smyrna, Georgia. I'm president for the Chateau Walk Homeowners Association, 129 homes, which is sort of behind Smyrna Grove subdivision. I came at the hearing for the Planning Committee and spoke in opposition. I come today to speak again in opposition. I'm not in opposition as much as I think this is a whim and a whip and a prayer. You look at what they're asking to perform here with you, to take this property, to make substantial improvements to it, and to make it into a dormitory for up to 120 students. Number one, this dormitory has to meet certain requirements. The Atlanta Dream Center has received federal government grants. That requires them then to fall underneath the Rehabilitation 504 Act, which requires them for special needs students to make sure the facility meets the Protecting Students with Disabilities Act. I do not know today if they have the resources to ensure their facility will meet that act, nor do I know if they have the facility cost to meet the American Disabilities Act. The largest structure they have is a multi-story building. I hear no plans for an elevator to go with that building to meet the needs of both those students with special needs or students that may have a need for ADA. I'm not sure if all the openings, walkways, bathrooms, all of those spaces will be meeting the needs of those particular students who are housing as a dormitory at this location. I also asked about the Women the Prayer regarding the ADC itself. Looking back at the 2016 990, for those who don't know what a 990 is a tax return filed by not-for-profit entities. In 2016, ADC had revenues of $1.7 million and a loss of $20,000. Year before that, 2015, they had a loss of $27,000 on a revenues of $1.4 million. In 2016, they had total cash position of $90,000 and $65,000 in debts. I don't know where the money is going to come from to make these immense improvements into these 4 facilities to house 120 students. I've seen no identification to their resources, their borrowings, their funds, what will become forward to make this facility meet the requirements they have to meet and complete this facility in a way which is appropriate within our city limits. The other concern I have is that ADC in its disclosures, as 990, calls itself a church. Does not call it an educational facility, doesn't call it a dormitory. I'm not sure today what ADC is. Is it a dormitory? Is it a hostel? Is it a hotel? I hear about a ministry, but yet they're not disclosing being a ministry, a school. That's some other organization that does the schooling. Other concerns I have is that we have a dormitory, 120 students, yet according to the plan for the renovations, no improvements or changes in the kitchen. I don't know how you feel about students ages from 18 to 25. I know what those kids want to do. They want to eat. They want to eat breakfast. They want to eat dinner. They might eat lunch down at school. But I have no idea how we're going to feed these 120 students without a kitchen. And how will that be done? I heard today as Dr. Ron Fennell said, they're not-for-profit status. They don't pay taxes. They don't support anything regarding our tax base. I don't think this is a proper use of the facility, and I really don't think this is going to happen. This is going to become a whim and a prayer to think they have the resources to make this happen. And now we hear tonight that they want to bring a church in as well. With 58 parking places and 120 students on a Sunday from 10 a.m. or from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., how many spots will be taken up in that parking lot? Hundreds. Between attendees to church and students living there, how will this facility handle the number of parking places required for both of these particular opportunities to exist at the same time? Again, I hear lots of promises, lots of good things they do. I just don't disagree, but I don't think this is going to be the kind of opportunity that we as Smyrna should invest in and allow. Thank you.
Anyone else that was sworn in that would like to make a comment, tell us who you are, where you live at, and make your comments?
Scott Taylor, 3021 Smyrna Grove Drive, right across the street. That's a tough act to follow, but just like the other 2 residents that I live with, I bought here last June and moved all the way to Smyrna, and this is not what I thought I would be facing every day. And I love what they're doing, and I think it's a great thing, but like someone said, what happens 2 or 3 years from now? What if they have 60 students, but they have 60 beds? They say they put homeless somewhere, but could those beds one day be filled with prostitutes they got off the street? Troubled teens, I don't know, but that's my concern, and I hope you consider that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Rodney Roman. I also live in Smyrna Grove. My patio is kind of facing that building. And I also have the same concern that my neighbors. Back in December, January, November timeframe, I don't know if that was related to this, but there was some activity on the building. And it happened actually during the night. And I can actually wake up during the night hearing a band coming up to pick people or drop off people there. And, they slamming the door, and I was waking up thinking that somebody was trying to get into my house. So that was kind of the preview that we were expecting here. That's really a concern for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. My name is Floyd Morgan, excuse me, and I also live at Smyrna Grove. My concern is basically my neighborhood and I've been there about 2 years, and we started off with a few burglaries on the Old Concord side. So as we've gotten used to having that quiet down, I haven't heard what I think I need to hear. What I heard so far was we're taking these people off the street. Off the street. That sounds like homeless people to me. They may not be homeless, but it sounds like homeless individuals. We have a lot of issues in Smyrna, and you know it is not cheap. None of this is cheap. And Smyrna is a great city. I love it here, and I want to maintain what I have. But I'm not in agreement with this move. So I'm asking you to vote against it, please.
Anyone else who was sworn in? All right, we're going to shut down the public hearing portion. Are there any other questions? I have one of Rusty, if you're, or Ken, either one. As it relates to the Planning and Zoning Board turning this down, and staff still recommends that it be approved, was there any information that maybe the Planning and Zoning Board didn't receive that would be different today if they were voting on it today?
Yeah, they basically heard the same presentation we did. I mean, I don't know what was their rationale for their decision, but for the most part, they've heard everything that you all have heard.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Any other questions of any of the applicants? All right, Mrs. Wilkinson.
Thank you, Mayor. I do want to thank the Community Development Department for all the work they put into this, and also the folks from Atlanta Dream Center, because I think they've worked really hard to get this to where it is today. But based on my review of the non-zoning criteria and considering their impact, I at this time, I'm going to have to move to deny item, let's see, which it's 4A 2018-116, zoning request Z18-005, rezoning from GC to OI for the use of the building as a dormitory for Atlanta Dream Center, 1.84 acres, land lot 460 Bourne Drive, Atlanta Dream Center.
We have a motion to deny this request. Do I have a second? Ms. Bluestein seconds it. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please vote. That's approved 6-0 to deny.
Mr. Mayor, may I make a comment as the vote is concluded?
Brief, yes. Mm-hmm.
The residents who chose to come to Smyrna Grove are important to the future of the city, and we appreciate your investment and your input. I also appreciate those who are involved in the outreach and the training and the education of these young people for our future in ministry. I'm greatly appreciative of people who take the time to give of their time and their effort and their lives to do that. This may not be the right moment and the right place for them to be at the moment here in Smyrna, but we look forward to seeing the outcome of what the ministry is going to provide and continue to see the growth of Smyrna in this area as a joint effort to make the community of whole that is all of the Metro Atlanta region in addition to Smyrna a much better place. Thank you for taking time to be here tonight.
Item 5 is previous license A 2018-176, public hearing, previous license request 2018-176, beer, wine, and liquor pouring, 2995 Atlanta Road, Southeast Suite 300, Bad Daddy's International LLC, doing business as Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, with Clarence Lanier Taylor as the agent. Is the applicant here?
Yes, we are.
Okay. The background, please, you can have a
Thank you,
seat, yeah.
Mayor. This is a new application for privilege license for beer, wine, and liquor for Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, which is located across the street in Jonco Plaza. Clarence Taylor is the registered agent and has passed the background investigation and attended the mandatory alcohol awareness workshop.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here that's in opposition to or that would like to make any public comment concerning the issuance of this privilege license? Let the record show there is none. This is in Ms. Blackburn's district. I don't know if Rusty has nothing that stands on its own. We've been waiting. I mean, not for the liquor necessarily, but for the Bad Daddy's Burger. I'm a big burger boy.
Where's the menu?
Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you.
The applicant's here. Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Michelle Stumpy. I'm an attorney with Taylor English, and I'm here on behalf of Bad Daddy's Restaurant and Burger Bar. This is Clarence Taylor, and he is the applicant. Mr. Taylor has a long history in the restaurant business. He was with Outback Steakhouses for 22 years. He's now here with Bad Daddy's. Bad Daddy's actually has 29 locations in the Southeast. They've never had any issues they have alcohol licenses at those locations, haven't had any issues at any of those locations. Their first location in Georgia has been in Chamblee about 4 months ago, and looking forward to it's a family restaurant. Out of about 200 seats, there's only 15 at the bar, so it's really not a bar. It's more of a burger bar as opposed to an alcohol bar with lots of burgers. They've also got great assortment of salads and starters and make your own burgers, and so they're excited to be here, and Mr. Taylor is here to answer any questions that you might have.
How we doing? Any questions?
Yeah, I'll have a double cheeseburger and
Yeah, I'll take one of those as well.
Mr. Taylor, thanks for being here. Thank you for being here as well. We're excited about Bad Daddy's coming to town. And I see that you've definitely passed the alcohol, the liquor license and whatnot issues that you had to go through. And I've also read your experience in the restaurant business, and Outback is one of my favorite restaurants, so that's a good thing. But just want to let you know, or just to ask, you do understand the importance of following our ordinances, the laws here in Smyrna regarding alcohol, serving of alcohol in the restaurants?
Yes, definitely. We do liquor classes weekly. We do liquor meetings daily when the servers come in and the bartenders. Before they can ring in for an order, it actually comes up. Today's the date when you're checking the IDs on the computer. So it's very something we talk about daily.
Okay, great. And when do you guys expect to be open?
We expect to open on June the 4th. We're actually going to start our training May the 23rd. I think our friends and family is going to be the June the 1st and 2nd. So we'll be sending out invitations for, definitely council members and the
we'll
police
be there.
department. Yeah, police department, fire department, and dignitaries.
we need to get the vote first before we do that.
But yes, definitely we'll do a soft roll, and then June the 4th, that's a Monday, we'll be open for business.
Well, I would really like to ask if you would just move it to June the 8th and do that. That'd be a great birthday present for me.
But we'll still be there on June the 8th.
My birthday.
So 29th. I hear you.
Birthday party. Mr. Mayor, anytime Ms. Stumpy comes to the aid of a client, I know they're doing it right because she's the best, and I appreciate her being involved and appreciate your bringing this business to Smyrna. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Blackman?
With that, Mayor, I move to approve item number 2018-176, public hearing of privilege license request on 2018-176 beer, wine, and liquor pouring at 2995 Atlanta Road Southeast, Suite 300, Bad Daddy's International LLC, DBA Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, with Clarence Leonard Taylor as agent.
Second. Okay.
Have a motion and a second to approve this. Have a motion and a second to approve this license. Any other questions? All those in favor of the motion? Approved 6-0. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Yeah. Item 6 is formal business A, ordinance 2018-08. Approval of ordinance 2018-08 to amend the City of Smyrna Code of Ordinances, Section 646, regulating the carryout of alcoholic beverages within authorized restaurant district and to repeal any conflicting provisions. Mr. Andrews, the background, please.
Yes, sir. We're sticking with the alcohol theme here. After receiving feedback from several local businesses regarding the previous amendment to Section 646 regarding our open container restaurant district, the city simply seeks to simplify our compliance with the new carryout regulations. So in the most layman's terms, you cannot bring beverages purchased in one location to another location in the restaurant district.
Okay. This is formal business. This is Ms. Blackburn. Ms. Blackburn.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. At this time, if we don't have any questions regarding that, Mayor?
Yeah, I think all this does is just expands that restaurant district.
That's the next item, sir.
Oh, that's the next one. Okay, so this
The next one.
This just prohibits the taking
Right.
from one.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, at this time, Mayor, I would like to make a motion to approve item 6A, ORD 2018-08, approval of ORD 2018-08 to amend the City of Smyrna Code of Ordinances, Section 6-46, regulating the carryout of alcoholic beverages within authorized restaurant districts and to repeal any conflicting positions.
And motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion? It's approved 6-0. Item 6B, Resolution 201804, approved to adopt Resolution 2018-04, revising the borders of the Smyrna Market Village Restaurant District. Mr. Andrews, the background, please.
Yes, sir. As you indicated a minute ago, the City of Smyrna wanted to start small, and at this point, the businesses were very happy, and there was a request to expand this district. So all this is doing is expanding the district to go right around the corner to Porchlight, and also to include the businesses that will go in the Shane's and Hungry Howie's buildings.
Ms. Blackburn.
If there are no questions on that one either, Mayor, I would make a motion to approve item B, 6B, RES 2018-04, approval to adopt Resolution 2018-04, revising the borders of the Smyrna Market Village Restaurant District.
You get a second on that? And motion is second to adopt the resolution to revise the borders of the Smyrna Market Village Restaurant District. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please vote. 6-0. Item C, 2018-219, approval to accept the dedication of Daniel Cemetery at 3761 Cloudland Drive. Mr. Andrews, background, please.
Yes, sir. As council is well aware, the city is working diligently to improve the Smyrna Memorial Cemetery, and a few weeks ago, conversation came up to look into Daniel Cemetery as well. So all this is doing is establishing that the city will formally accept the dedication for the property that's located at 3761 Cloudland Drive.
Mr. Welch.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I guess I want to say I feel that the city has a at least a bit of a responsibility to take care of our cemeteries, either through volunteers or through our own forces. And this is a very small family cemetery that the family has almost died off. And I feel like it's imperative that the maintenance of the cemetery continue, and I personally support it. With that, Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion to approve item 2018-219, the approval to accept the dedication of Daniel Cemetery at 3761 Cloudland Drive.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Blackburn. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please vote. That's approved 5-1 with Ms. Wilkinson voting in the negative. Item 7 is commercial building permits. We have none. Item 8 is consent agenda. Mr. Andrews, will you please read the consent agenda for council's approval?
There's about 12 items here, Mayor, so buckle up. Item A, 2018-201, approval of the April 16, 2018 Mayor and Council meeting minutes. Item B, 2018-202, approval of the April 16, 2018 pre-council meeting minutes. Item C, 2018-218, approval of the April 12th, 2018 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Item D, 2018-2014, approval of the April 19th, 2018 special called meeting minutes. Item E, 2018-2018, award bid RFP 18-014 for RFID conversion project at the Smyrna Library to Envisionware Inc. Item F, 2018-217, award bid RFP 18-012, Community Center second floor restroom renovation to the lowest bidder, Diversified Construction of Georgia Inc. Item G, 2018-214, authorize the temporary road closure of Riverview Road between Nichols Drive and Freeman Parkway for the weekend of May 18th, 2018 through May 20th, with a backup date for the weekend of June 1st through June 3rd, from 7 p.m. Friday to 5 p.m. Sunday. Item H, 2018-211, approval of the property liability insurance annual renewal with Georgia Local Government Risk Management Agency, otherwise known as GERMA, in the amount of $550,526, and authorize the mayor to execute any related documents. Item I, 2018-212, approval of the revisions to personnel policy EMP 3-0 recruitment and selection, and authorize the mayor to execute related documents. Item J, 2018-213, approval of the revision to personnel policy EMP 10-0 on-call, call-in, and authorize the mayor to execute related document. Item K, 2018-220, authorize retroactively the use of the council chambers for a town hall legislative informational meeting hosted by District 42, House of Representative Terry Nullowitz, and District 6 State Senator Jen Jordan. Item L, 2018-161, authorize beginning and ending time changes for event approved April 16, 2018, retroactively for Atkins Park Tavern to operate a beer, wine, specialty, 2-item cocktail station beyond the boundaries of the premises and covered by the license of Atkins Park Tavern.
Do you hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move.
Have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor of the motion? Approved 6-0. Item 9 is committee reports. We'll start tonight with Mr. Derek Norton.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have much of a committee report tonight, but I do have something to tell everybody. So I reported on almost a month ago at the end of the legislative session, they passed the hands-free law, and I'm proud to report that last Wednesday in Statesboro, which was the site of the tragic accident that killed the nursing students almost 3 years ago to the day, the governor signed HB 673 into law. So I'm pleased to say that we finally got to the finish line. That was passed, signed by the governor, and will go into effect on July 1st. I will tell you that what we did here in Smyrna played a big part in the debate at the Capitol, and we saved lives by doing this, and I'm pleased at the part that we played in it, and that it'll take effect. You won't be able to hold your cell phone in your hand while you're driving after July 1st in the state. With that, I yield.
Miss Andrea Bluestein.
Yes, Your Honor. I just wanted to remind everyone that I'm having a Ward 2 meeting on May the 15th at 6:30 to 8 at the community center, and I hope as many residents that can will be able to come. I'm going to have some updates, I hope, from community development on who's proposing what and what stage they're at, and some other interesting things. So see you on the 15th.
Ms. Blackman.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations once again to all the recipients of the Mayor's Educational Awards. It was really great to be here tonight and see those wonderful kids, and of course the volunteers and the instructors, the teachers receive the awards, just showing how much we really appreciate them. So thank them for all that they do. Also want to take some time to say thank you to our mayor for inviting us council members to join him on Saturday and Sunday for his annual Arthur Bacon golf tournament. I played both days, and I did terrible, but I played. So that's a good thing, and it was definitely a lot of fun, and I'm excited that 50% of the proceeds are going to benefit the Smyrna Arts Council, so yay, go that. And third and final, there's a very special couple here tonight that I would like to acknowledge. They have lived in Smyrna for 51 years. And on Friday, May the 11th, Mr. Shadika and Lanili Shaw will be celebrating their 60th year wedding anniversary.
Your wife's happy at it.
Citizen and Smyrna resident, we are proud to be Smyrna. We are so happy. Heaven of the earth.
Congratulations to you, and with that, Your Honor, I yield.
You should get an award for putting up with your husband for all those years.
He is a saint.
Just 63 years. But you look so young.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Are you through? Is that all, Marilyn? Mr. Welch.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say thanks to everybody that came out tonight for the Mayor's Awards. It's great to see all the young people that come out, and it gives us hope for the future. With that, I yield.
Ms. Wilkinson.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to add to something that Councilperson Marilyn Blackburn just mentioned about the Smyrna Arts and Cultural Council. On Saturday, they had their first art stroll in the downtown, and I went to that, and it was really wonderful. And there were lots of artists out there painting recycling cans, and they were really, really cool. So hopefully we'll be seeing some of those recycling cans that are painted artwork at some of our Smyrna events coming up. And then there was also a skit and movie, and it was very well attended, and it was a very nice weather, and it looked like everybody was having a good time. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the things going on at the library. The theme for this summer's library summer reading program is Libraries Rock. They will have lots of events and activities related to music and sound. You may sign up for the reading program beginning Friday, May 18th at the Youth Services Desk in the library. And the kickoff party is Friday, May 25th at 11 a.m. in the Community Center Magnolia Room. The Chattahoochee Nature Center will be there with live animals. They will show how animals use songs, calls, and sounds to communicate and interact with their world. And so hopefully everybody can attend, and if you need to look at the website for that information. I hope to see you there. And with that, I yield.
Mr. Ron Fennell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Spring is a great time to be in Smyrna, Georgia. And if you didn't go to the Jonquil Festival, you probably missed the best attended, if not ever, certainly in the times that I've been coming to them. It was perfect weather. The folks were great. The vendors were good. JRM does a great job. We've launched the food truck Tuesday program again this year. JRM is also very helpful with that. Campbell High School and Whitfield Academy both are in the soccer playoffs. Whitfield is the defending state champion in their division. So we're looking forward to seeing this week, see a final outcome there. And by the way, with spring sports, so we just finished youth soccer. It was a lot of fun. The Saturdays that I had to spend at the that I got to spend at the soccer field with my kids, swimming and baseball. So if you have family, if you want to go out and see how vibrant a community it is, go out to the soccer fields or the baseball fields or to the pool and see these young folks enjoying living and growing up in Smyrna. The final thing for my committee report, Mr. Mayor, the budget is under preparation. So if you want to learn the details of our $91 million proposed budget for the year, you can go on the city website. We have public hearings on there for a schedule for 3 or 4 of those. So you have no excuse if you're so inclined to come learn the details about how your AAA bond-rated city of Smyrna is run. We invite you to come and give your input as we put the process to bed for the 2019 budget, which is July 1. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I yield.
Mr. Wells says something that's very important.
I just wanted to announce, this is our last council meeting before this event takes place, but the Smyrna Garden Tour is coming up on May 19th. And my house, unfortunately, or fortunately, is not on that garden tour. My yard doesn't look that good, but you can buy tickets at Vickery Hardware, Love Street, Neighbors Feed and Seed, Smyrna Community Center, and the Smyrna Recycle Center. But there are some great gardens on the tour. Please encourage you to just go out, buy tickets, and attend the event. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Andrews, anything else?
You guys got to deal with me tonight because our city administrator's birthday is tomorrow. She turns 29 again, so wish Tammy a happy birthday.
I thought she was going to hear her husband preach.
That too.
Yeah. Good deal. Mr. Cochran, anything? Ms. Graham, anything? Okay.
Yes, I'd like to just let everyone know that we are having an election on May the 22nd. We will have, can't hear me? We will have, we have the main office open for advanced and early voting, and there's 4 precincts in Cobb County that are open for advanced and early voting. We will, on May the 22nd, all precincts will be open and available for voting. Thank you.
But early voting, the only place you can do early voting is really
At the main office.
on Whitlock, is that where it's at?
Whitlock Avenue,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, all right. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay. We have no show cause hearing. Got 2 people signed up for citizens input. Alec Backery, 3459 Shawnee Trail comments. Sorry, my phone went off.
We had supposable city meeting on April 17th. Wasn't even in the paper on this Windy Hill issue. Well, Croy Engineering brought some pictures and diagrams, but Croy is not the city. There have been program managers since '05. I don't understand why the city doesn't have their own system in place. We have our own city engineer, and we should have them, the city employees, doing these projects. I mean, that I don't understand. And for that, Croy got $4.5 million in services last year. That's outrageous when we can do it in-house. My second comment is, We need to stop any further work on Windy Hill till we have a city town hall meeting and a referendum. The taxpayers have a right to have a say in how the money is being spent. This is a $42 million program. And how many people I've talked to that have no clue that it's even going on? We need to promote it correctly, but a referendum, again, Bronner had one for $23 million in the 90s, and this is $42 million. This should be a referendum. That's open government, and that's the way a democracy works. And I hope it stops until we get organized here. This is like the Brave Stadium with no referendum on a smaller scale, but this is the largest project in the history of Smyrna, and the citizens have been totally tuned out of any say in it. I don't understand this can't be seen. And Mayor, you need to have a city town hall meeting. We have questions for you. And I hope you can do a city town hall meeting. You're way overdue. And if you can't, you should step down and we'll find someone that will. And finally, all my signs for the campaign for the 22nd, except for 2, have disappeared. And I hope the police, if they catch someone stealing these signs, they arrest them. That is a crime, and I don't know why I've been singled out, but they're all gone except for 2. And please, look at the referendum, and this is too much money without us having a say. And this is blatant to me, closed government at its worst. Thank you.
Gary Nelson, 872 Chrysler Avenue, Code Enforcement.
One of these to give to each of the council members. And pass that, please.
Go ahead.
Okay, the photos that I've just passed out to the council are of the residents at 826 Chrysler Avenue. This property just recently changed hands. On April 27, 2018, the new owner installed a 6-foot-tall chain link fence around the entire property. It is an eyesore and is completely out of character for a residential property. On April 30th, I delivered these photos to the head marshal, Mr. Tim Hardy, and I told him that myself and the other neighbors wanted the fence removed. Everybody knows that it's not in compliance with city code. The correct answer from Mr. Hardy should have been, yes, Mr. Nelson, that fence does not meet city code and it will be removed. But he started explaining to me about due process and how he would have to send the marshal out and blah, blah, blah. I understand that the city just can't send a crew out and tear a non-compliant structure down in someone's property. But I've had a history of this city ignoring our code violations in our neighborhood. And I just want to make sure that this is followed up, because it's just time after time they don't enforce the code in our neighborhood. And it would also be nice if someone, Mr. Hardy or someone, responds and keeps us posted, because the other neighbors, the 2 of them were here and they had to leave. But all the people around us say that fence has got to go. And so I just want it to as quickly as possible, with the least amount of delay, to get something done about that fence. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the citizens' input portion of the agenda. If there's no other business to be brought before this body, I declare this meeting adjourned at 8:35. You check that out. And it hadn't been but a week. Here you go, here, Terry.